Hello and welcome to the MyWhoosh Championship. It's Women's Day 8, Stage 7. It has been an exhausting race, but I tell you something, I am absolutely buzzing for our very last stage. I'm here in the studios. My name is Matt Payne, and I've had the pleasure of putting with all of the action pretty much so far, or nearly all in the women's race, because, of course, Emma Martin, who is here in the studio with me, is actually the one who's been here for absolutely everything. I've just had the pleasure of watching the second half of the races, but yesterday it was nice to come back in and manage to catch the end of all the time trial finishes.
Well, it has been absolutely fantastic, Matt, and I'm going to rephrase what you said. We may have some exhausted riders, but it has been an exciting day. It has been an exciting 8 days. We have had 6 stages so far, and today is stage number 7. We have 50 kilometres facing our women, and it was all change across GC. Yesterday with the individual time trial, and that was just amazing. So today we head to Arabia for 50 kilometers. We have 340 meters of climb today. As you can see on the course in front of you, it's the last stage, and it is the stage that will decide and confirm GC, the Queen of the Mountains, as well as the sprints.
And with those 5 sprints on the way across, there's 25 points up for grabs if you're to win all 5. The mountains, as you can see, are very short. There are 2 lots of 1 kilometer climbs today. So 2,000 meters of climbing will see the allocation of a maximum of 10 points to decide those final standings. If those riders need those points, they're going to have to be very aware of where those climbs are. They are very different climbs in terms of gradient, and they have different terrain in front of them. One coming in after a relatively flat section, the first climb, that's our Bahrain climb, the second of those climbs, and that is the Marina Valley climb. That, for me, is going to be a real toughie because you have a real fast rundown before you then climb back out again. And of course, if you are sprinting for the sprint points, you've got to be thinking very carefully about that last sprint because it is a very close run from there. Only 3.6 kilometers to the finishing line for the stage win. So lots for our riders to think about, and it is really, really tight in the standings across a lot of the categories, not just in the GC overall. Now, our first category riders away are going to be our category 4 riders. We have Team Paz, and this has our first and second place on GC with Vink and Loxley, respectively, separated by 41 seconds. It's also got Poulton in there, who's currently sitting in 6th of the standings.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Psychoholic team as well here with some riders on GC. So top 10 for Giraldo and Sarasuk rounding out that top 10 as well. So some strong riding here too.
Yep, really good to see Sarasuk moving into 10th place in the GC. Now, in terms of the team standings, it is Pans who have the lead over the Psychoholic team. But remember, of course, we have lots of individual riders joining our team riders on there as well. And that means that this is going to be really interesting because some of the teams not having enough riders to score in that team competition. Let's have a look at the sprint standing. So Ella Vink now confirmed. If she finishes the stage, she will take away that sprint win. Madeira sitting in 49 points in the sprints. Should have that sewn up, but Loxley can challenge, as can Al Mansouri. So it's going to be a big score today for Loxley or Al Mansouri, and not a big score for Madeira. But we will see. The Queen of the Mountains, well, Loxley has the lead at the moment from Vink. As you can see, though, they are separated by 7 points. Teammates, and again, teammates with Madeira. So Madeira sitting on 21 points there. Remember, there are 10 points available. So it could well be that Smithson or Almasori or Madeira, they might just be getting in the mix looking for a win in the stage in terms of the Queen of the Mountains today. Because remember, on this, we see the return of our sprint competition and of our mountains competition, and there are prizes for the stage as well as for the overall.
Yes, there are indeed, and we will be watching that shortly and taking a really close look. Now, yesterday was the time trial stage, and we saw an upset in the general classification. Loxley went in one, but it was indeed Vink who took the win yesterday in the individual time trial, and that has upset GC, and the roles have switched. So Loxley, who went in first, Vink went in second place on GC. That has switched. So Vink now on one on GC, Loxley into 41 seconds separating them. And our category 4 riders are away. The battle is on. Will Vink stay clear of Loxley? Will Loxley attack? There's 41 seconds at the moment, but Vink is in the yellow jersey. So our category 4 riders are away on stage 7. It is day 8 of the MyWhoosh Championships 2023, and we are in Arabia. It is 50 kilometers of a fairly flat stage, 5 sprints, 2 climbs, and that all-important finish line. And this is the final day of the MyWhoosh Championships. So Isabel Giraldo, Tanglian, Pelagio, Vink, Almansori, Loxley, all in this group. The group coming off at the start line nice and tight and grouped, bunched together across the road. This group, this category, rolling out and picking up speed quite nicely there, just topping over 30 kilometers an hour. It's a fairly steady start with a few rolling sections. That first sprint coming at 3.8 kilometers.
They wish it was 30.8
I bet they do.
kilometers, but no, 3.8k. And I think having a really smart start here is going to be really key for the riders, because so many people turned themselves inside out yesterday on that time trial. And some of the riders who maybe have not been up there. One rider for me who excelled yesterday, De Freitas, taking a 9th place, top 10 place for the Psychoholic team in the time trial. That's her first top 10 coming on the penultimate stage. So great riding by De Freitas there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm taking a look at the profile today, Matt, and thinking about what we might see from the racing today. And I think we may well see the sprints and the climbs contested, but I'm wondering whether we see much action outside of that. Vink and Loxley, 41 seconds now separating them, but with the rest of this category, each place now pretty much tied up with minutes between. So 15 minutes between second and third, 16 minutes between fourth and third, 10 minutes between fifth and fourth. So I think GC, other than 1 and 2, very much sewn up, and very little other than today, the actual stage and the stage win, the sprint win today, the climb win today, really to play for.
Yeah, I think that's going to really change how this race is run, because realistically, as long as you don't lose 10 minutes, you should be pretty good where you are. And you've 2 teammates in Vink and Loxley, and I think we should say I have watched this 4th category race really enjoyed the racing in it. And that's because of the riders and because of how they've ridden that. And it's continued right to today, because we've got this fight for points. We've got, sprint points. The top standing is there and it's done. But 3rd and 4th separated by 1 point. Absolutely nothing in that. Mountains points, in theory, it's going to be either Loxley or it's going to be Vink. Loxley or Vink. But, behind, it's quite close, and there could be changes in that. And I think these riders really have got into the racing as well, and the flow of the racing. And I think that's one of the things where the time trial or the rest day had the potential to break it up. I don't think it will have done. I think these riders are going to go, yep, here we go.
Yeah, well, and I think when you look back over the stage winners over the previous 6 stages, I think that really also tells the story of Loxley and Vink, doesn't it? Because Vink went out in stage 1, 2 and 3 and took the win. Loxley took the win in stages 4 and 5, and then Vink took the win yesterday in stage 6 on the individual time trial. Now Loxley, that stage 4 and stage 5, they were our epic mountain days. you know, and her climbing ability really came to the fore. She's currently first in that Queen of the Mountains competition. Vink currently first in the sprint competition. And I think those results on the stages also tell that story.
Yeah, they do. And I think one of the great things about being on the mic and being a professional commentator is that you do get to spend a lot of time doing the research. You know, for every my old guideline, my old maxim is for every day that you're on the mic, you're going to do 3 days of preparation. So for a big tour like this, that's a lot of looking at results on the way through, overnight, looking at who's doing what, following social media, all those things that we do. Some people see. I know there's one or two commentators out there who go, "Oh no, not more." And you know, for me, I really love it because and I love watching the race unfold over a stage race like this, in the results, and then mix that with what I've seen on the screen. And I have to say, I think the way those results are played out, it really has shown that Vink and Loxley are very good indeed. And you know, that is within the context of being in category 4, but looking at their times, they've pulled out some serious performances. But you can't discount any of the riders who've been in here, and right from day one, that's been the case.
Well, absolutely, Matt. And I think it's not just Vink and Loxley. I think we've seen some fantastic riding from Al-Mansouri. You know, she has been really strong and really instrumental in the racing in this category right the way throughout a lot of the stages. She's 5th on GC, but you know, really that doesn't tell the whole story of Al-Mansouri's racing. Madeira has also, I think, been putting in strong competitions, and she's been getting better and better. Yeah, you know, when we look back down at other competitors, you know, Giraldo has been riding very strongly, and Pelagio really been coming into her own. She's had a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th in the stages. So it's not just, well, you know, while Vink and Loxley have been giving us a great race in 1 and 2 and really fighting it out, let's not forget the other riders in this category, because they too have really been making the racing.
They have indeed. Now, here we go. Let's get ourselves ready not to rumble. This is not antidote. This is going to be ready to sprint, because this is the time when the first of those sprint points are up for grabs. And remember, although Vink has got the sprint win, sewn up 3rd and 4th, so Al-Mansouri in 4th, Loxley in 3rd, Madeira should be clear in 2nd here. So let's see who is going to take this, who has got the bit between the teeth, and who is really searching for those places here, or are they going to ride through with a view that they're going to be able to do something later on? I think we're going to see at least one kick from the front, and I'm going to put my money on it being Musa Al-Mansouri, because we know that Musa Al-Mansouri is always up for a sprint, as is Ella Vink.
You know, she might have it wrapped up, but there is still the sprint competition on today's stage to be had, and it is looking like Ella Vink wants to clear up today and absolutely continue to stamp her authority on this race.
So Al-Mansouri just coming in through there, I think in 3rd place over the line. Madeira really pushing on there as well. And does that mean that Loxley maybe is looking at that the mountain competition and thinking, oh, maybe that is where I'm going to go? So here we go, 5 points for Vink, 4 for Madeira, 3 for Al-Mansouri, pretty much as we saw on our screens there. Pelagio taking 2 points, Taglion taking 1, Loxley coming through. But if you look at those watts on the way through, and the watts per kilo, you can see Loxley there, I think, riding through with the bunch.
Yeah, absolutely, because Madeira in 2nd place in that competition and continuing to show that form.
Great to see Ella Vink. You know, you can't stop a racer, pretty much, I think. I think Ella Vink just, you know, do you know what? I might have over 100 points of 108 points.
She just can't help herself when there's a sprint, can she?
No, and let's face it, the prize money, there is prize money for today's sprint winner, and that is not to be sneezed at. So it could be another good payday coming out, you know, if you take the win. And here we go, prize money coming up. So the win for the sprint today, for today's sprint winner, is $150. So worth stretching your legs for.
Oh, it is indeed the same, obviously, in the Queen of the Mountains competition today. And the stage winner today will take $250. Now, the individual classification, the GC first place in category 4. And just a reminder, category 4 in both the men and women, it is the same prize money. So, what you see in the men's show later today is exactly what is on your screen now. So, first place category 4 overall GC, $2,500. And you can see that going down to $250 for 10th place. Now, the team's classification, and that has been a battle, $10,500 for first place in the team's competition. And of course, the Sprint, Youth, Queen of the Mountains, and Masters winners all being awarded on GC as well.
Yep, great prize money. And today, the final chance to lay their hands on them. Now, quick reminder for people in terms of the results and the rules, because people will be looking at those today. So the results on the website, that's www.mywhoosh.com/results. They are currently live. So basically, go to the page, scroll down to the multi-stage, hit stage today. The results at the moment are live. This is live results. When we move from the live results to the end of the race, they will become unofficial results. We will be calling what we see, which will be live. That will obviously be subject to change because, let's face it, there's potentially human error in there. But don't forget that from live to unofficial will be at the end of the race, but then the results will be verified to then confirm the riders. And that's been coming through very quickly indeed towards the end of the stage, which has helped us know. And it's meant that I actually have had some sleep in the last few days. It's a bit of a bonus.
Well, I'm wondering whether some of our riders have had a lot of sleep in the last few days, particularly these category 3 women. This is close at the top as well, and even closer than in category 4. So first and second in category 3, 23 seconds separating them.
They are indeed. Now, second place rider Maria Kimona in the Mr. Worldwide team. The Mr. Worldwide team, very strong indeed. A second, fourth, fifth, and 11th in the overall standings at the moment. Riding strongly, and the win in the mountains competition potentially there for Kimona and the GC. The Maniacs, well, Julia Walkenhurst, she is our yellow jersey, whereas she is currently 23 seconds clear of Kimona. So, as Emma said, very close indeed on the way through there. And the Maniacs team been riding really strong. The Feisty Cats, well, they have 3rd, 10th, and 13th in the overall standings. And Jenny Tan, well, she's leading that sprint competition at the moment by 10 points. So really, really tight at the top of all of our competitions. In terms of team standings, though, Maniacs now at the top of the team standings with the Mr. Worldwide squad in second and the Feisty Cats team in third. But this is tight as well, isn't it?
It is. There's still only around 3 minutes separating the Maniacs and Mr. Worldwide. So it is indeed still close.
And remember, that's done on the time of the fastest 3 riders. So we're saying that Tam was 10 points clear at the top. Anneli Agdello, one of our under 23 riders, putting a storming ride in the time trial in second place. There were no sprint points available, and she got herself right into the mix for the stage there. But she's in the fight, and it really is a battle between these two for the overall sprint winner, isn't it? And good prizes there. So I could expect to see Tan and Agdello really fighting it out in this.
Yeah, and Agudelo, let's not forget, she had a great time trial yesterday, moving herself up to 6th on GC.
Yeah, brilliant ride by her. Now, the Queen of the Mountain standings, it is Carmona by 3 points from Walkenhurst. And this battle between Carmona and Walkenhurst, it is multifaceted because we have the Queen of the Mountains battle between them on those 2 particular segments, but they have got to be aware of what's happening overall. And I think that means that we could see a very much a battle that is nuanced between those two categories.
Well, it was yesterday's time trial stage number 6, and these are the winners from yesterday that reversed that lead in this category. But it was Terry Tandingen. I think this is fantastic. She deserves to be rewarded. You know, Tandingen has been absolutely instrumental in some of the racing and some of the breakaways in this stage race, and to take that time trial win yesterday, congratulations to Terry Tandingen. Carmona in our under 23 jersey, Barragan in the Masters jersey, but it was all yesterday about Walkenhurst. She finished 4th in the individual time trial, but that moved her into first place over the top of Carmona, who finished in 6th position. Now, 23 seconds separating them today. And as you say, Matt, it is the opposite way round in the Queen of the Mountains competition. So 2 competitions for those 2 riders to defend and fight for today.
So here we are, we're down on the line. This is the run out for category 3. The final time on the start line of the MyWhoosh Championships for these riders. They have got 50k to decide who is going to take away top spot in the classification overall, who's going to take away the sprint win, the mountain points win overall, and of course, who's going to take our stage win and our stage prizes. Here we go. This is the countdown. This is the run. We have got to get away nice and cleanly, and let's see if these riders can make today count. Category 3 underway here at the MyWhoosh Championships in the final stage for 2023.
So Jenny Tan comfortably in this group, and the entire category 3 riders out of the start pen and onto the course. Now the pace has picked up really quickly here, just around 35 kilometers an hour as Carmona is in here with Botero and Walkenhurst. I think this could be quite a twitchy start here from those individual riders. I bet there's some nerves out on those bikes, but this is it. This is the final 50 kilometers of the MyWhoosh Championships for 2023. This is going to decide the GC, the sprint competition, and the Queen of the Mountains will all be decided today.
Well, we're in with Agudelo at the moment, the rider, as you said, who put in that amazing performance yesterday in the time trial. I mean, brilliant to see that she had that at the end of the stage, and you know, to do that on stage. I mean, she's been up there, the 9th, the 4th, and then a second, but she's got 2 second places actually on stage 1 and stage 6. And for me, that shows that despite being a younger under 23 rider, that she really has got some talent there.
Well, that tells me, Matt, stage 1 was a flat stage. Stage 6 was a flat time trial. What is today? It's a flat stage. So I think Agudelo is actually going to ride well today. And I think, you know, but I agree with you.
That's not the commentator's curse.
No, I know. Apologies, Agudelo, if that causes a problem. But Annalie, honestly, the performances have been fantastic, and she should be really pleased with herself.
Yep, be very proud of that. Now, Julia Walkenhurst very quickly onto the front here as we come up this slight rise on the way out from the start pen today. And you can see as we go up over onto the raised bridge, we're up at the height at the top of the palm trees here in town. And the group are responding pretty quickly. Looks like one of our riders just starting to be distanced off the back here. And there are going to be some sore legs here today after 6 stages. But the riders, when they've got to the last stage, I mean, whenever you talk to tour riders, I've been lucky enough to do that in a race, everyone says, there is no way I am not finishing. I've made it this far. I will ride to the finish with one leg. It's
well, you know, you can pedal with one leg, but it's not advisable in a stage race. Now, back to third place. From second to third, 14 minutes. So it is a big gap back to third, but then 1:27 to fourth, 6:49 to fifth, and 1:24 to sixth. So again, unless something significant happens, pretty much decided other than first and second today.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you there. Because I think that there is the potential today, if you race this right, to make 2 minutes on a rider by putting them in trouble early, and by doing that with a very early aggressive race. Because if you think about it, we've got first and second is close, third and fourth are close, and fifth and sixth are close. That means that potentially we have all top 6 riders trying to maintain or better their position.
And what part of the course would you be looking at, Matt, for that attack to come in?
That is going to be, for me, I would be looking to do that the moment we hit anything approaching a climb, any and every climb, and or when we go into the mountain section. Now, the first mountain section, the first climb section, is a 1K climb. So this will suit somebody with some power and a kick going up it. But we then drop down and we have 2 more hills. We go through a downhill sprint, a big dip and a rise. That comes at about a third of the way through the course. That means that if you can put the time in there, but do it in a way that distances that rider that you want to lose, and you still have teammates around you. And we've got to remember, the squads are really, really strong. Where this is going to pose a problem is that Tan is not in the same team as Tandigan, and Tan potentially, of the top 5 riders, is the only rider not on that Mr. Worldwide team. And I think that means that Jenny Tan is potentially could be the rider in trouble here, despite having taken 3rd place so far.
Unless, of course, Tan and Walkenhurst team up, because Tan is not competition to Walkenhurst. She is over 14 minutes behind, and those are the 2 riders not on that Mr. Worldwide squad, but that would take some coordination in the final stage.
But don't put it past the riders. So a lot of time to sort out what they're going to do. And Jenny Tan, of course, she also is up there in the sprints competition. So it may well be that that will benefit her as well. So let's see how these riders continue to push on. So let's see how the riders go, and let's see how they keep kicking onwards from here. It's going to be really interesting to see how Jenny does. Remember, she's up there in the sprints, 10 points missing.
Well, look at this already. They are already taking a sit off the back here for the sprint. It's coming at 3.8 kilometers. We're only coming up to 3K. We're still 800 meters out. And Carolus and Tan just sitting off the back here. So is Tandingen. So is de Guzman. These riders sitting well off this group, and it's stretching out at the moment. Now, this says to me, this is intention to sprint.
I think this is, and I think this is going to be really interesting to see what these riders do. 3.8K. Now, Carolus is right up here in the mix, and we've got to remember that Carolus has taken some good positions in the stages. So that's going to be really interesting to see how she goes. This is her last opportunity to take that stage win. She's not managed as far as at best was a 2nd place on stage 2, which was, again, it wasn't an extremely mountainous stage, but it was a tough stage.
Well, there is a bit of a stretch coming on the front here as well. So Walkenhurst not staying off the pace. Neither is Carmona. They're sitting at around 3 watts per kilo, while they just drop off now. There you go. I talked about it and they dropped, but they were keeping that pace on. And I think what has now happened is, whilst a number of riders have sat back for the sprint, the push on the front from Carmona and Walkenhurst has just given them a bit of a stretch. Now, I imagine they will come back together in this sprint. In fact, we can see them coming in now as Walkenhurst leads this group out. They've got 100 meters to go, and look at that. You can see that sprint banner now.
You can indeed. So this is the first points opportunity. 5 for the fastest time through here, down to 1 for the 5th fastest time. Those points here on the Dubai sprint are going to be key. Who is going to come flying through that pack? You can see that we are getting a big kick coming from Walkenhurst, but she has been eclipsed here, and it is the Green Mean Express train coming through here. Look at this. Now, Carolus is really winding this up here today. She's going to really try and take this out. She goes in and through over the line there, but we'll see who is going to take this. Now, just looking at Agudelo here, she came through with a good time there, I suspect. So let's see how this runs as we wait for those results. And here they come, Emma.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is sprint number 1 on stage 7 for category 3 women. It is the Dubai sprint, and Carolus picks up 5 points. Agudelo picks up 4. Tan picks up 3. Cabanatan picks up 2. And Barragan from the Maniacs picks up 1. So the first sprint now complete for our category 3 women. 4 more sprints to go and 2 climbs today. On the right hand side of your screen are our category 4 riders. Now, these riders have been underway for 23 minutes now, and they are coming up to climb number 1. So the Bahrain climb, the first category 4 climb on this course today at 12.8 kilometers. It is 1 kilometer in length. So it is short, well, relatively, given what these riders have ridden in the big mountains, and it is a steep kicker through a climbing segment, and we're going to call it because it is a continually rolling segment with 4 climbs. And this is the second of those climbs. It is short and it is steep, and it is a 1 kilometre segment today. So from 12.8 to 13.8 kilometres, our category 4 women are coming up to that climb. Now, in the Queen of the Mountains competition, Loxley is currently holding that at 48 points from Vink in 47. Third place, a long way back with 21 points. 5 points up for grabs today in this first climb. Another 5 up later in the course.
Well, let's see who's going to take this. Now, these climbs are short. They are only 1 kilometre long. We don't have a huge amount of height gain. However, what we need to remember here is that the terrain following this climb is going to be some of the hardest in the stage. The middle third of this stage is where pretty much all of the height gain of the 340 meters in total in the stage are going to be made. So for me, this next third is going to be really critical to how this ride goes. And you can see Al Mansouri already starting to wind this up on the front here. She's pushing on, which is really good from the point of view of her points. And remember, she is looking to take away some more points in here, move up through those standings.
Yeah, well, Al Mansouri currently 4th in that Queen of the Mountains competition. And there are 4 points separating her from 3rd, which is Madeira. So great to see Al Mansouri on the attack again today.
And remember, if you were to take, for example, 2 wins today, okay, she's not going to move up and take the win in the overall for the mountains, but she could take the stage prize
Absolutely
for the mountains. And that is up for grabs. And this is going to be really, really tight. If we do get a tie in any of the competitions, it's then taken on the position in the overall standings between the riders. So if we do have a tie in points. Okay, so category 4 on the climb, Al Mansouri leading that out. Category 3 have come through the sprint. Category 2, they're the next set of riders who are waiting on the start line, and they will be away in what's going to be 4 minutes' time. So let's run through our teams and our riders here. We have the strong women's team here today, and I've got to say, I've been impressed by them, and they've lived up to their title across these stages.
Well, they have indeed. And you know what? In this category, Matt, whilst the top 5 didn't change yesterday in the individual time trials, from 6th to 10th did. And Para, unfortunately, was one of the losers going from 6th to 9th, but Engstrom went from 10th to 8th.
And yeah, really interesting to see how that move went. Now, Blue Forest Racing, we saw Mina Koistonen have an absolutely storming ride, taking the fastest time yesterday and really pushing on there. But they have in their team Samara Shepherd, the leader in the race overall. She's raced for 8 hours, 58 minutes and 9 seconds. So she'll go over that 9-hour marker today. But leading out at the moment, and her gap to Koistonen is currently 2 minutes and 7. So the top 2 in that team. The Beast Mode team, well, we are going to see a really interesting fight here. I think this could be very interesting indeed. The Beast Mode, powered by Rose Squad, Emma, and a real mix of riders.
Yeah, absolutely. But Miller, Zimmerman, and Daniel have been doing an outstanding job because they are all in the top 10. And Daniel yesterday went from 9th on GC to 6th.
Great ride. Now, the free riders squad still in the mix with the team prize with Bardskaya and Montoya, 2 of the riders who we expected to be up there in the overall, right in the mix. And really showing that we would expect riders like Bardskaya, who's a regular on the Sunday Race Club, to be up here in the standings. So in the team standings, it is the Beast Mode powered by Rose Squad who are leading at the moment from Strong Women, from Free Riders, and then it is the Blue Forest Racing team, which is really shows you just how strong a ride that the teams are doing en masse on the way through. Now, let's take a look at the sprint standings. And remember, there are 25 points on offer today, which means that at the moment there is 1 point standing between Lopez and being unassailable in the standings in totality. But close between Hermansen and Engstrom. And as we've just seen in category 4, although it may well be that Lopez has this sewn up in terms of the GC, general classification is points. In terms of today's stage, that's not going to necessarily be the case. Queen of the Mountains, well, we have got a great battle here. 4 points separating Shepherd and Engstrom. And Engstrom has been riding so strongly in this competition.
Oh, absolutely. And, she has indeed. She's been doing a phenomenal job. So, strong ride yesterday, moving up to 8th on GC from 10th, 2nd in this competition, 3rd in the sprint competition. She had a 2nd on stage 5 and a 4th yesterday. So she's getting better and better.
She is indeed. Well, will today be the day where she manages to take that title away from Sam Shepherd? Will Shepherd just be focused on getting to the end and taking away the general classification? Can't wait to find out. Well, I'm not going to have all that long to wait. We've got 40 seconds to go in category 3. And in category 2, my voice, so making the way through. You can tell it has been a very busy set of days for us on the mic. It's been an absolute pleasure so far, and today promises to have some exciting racing on today's race parkour.
Yeah, absolutely. So Engstrom down on the start line with Shepherd and Lopez. The seconds are ticking down for our category 2 women. So this is stage 7 of the MyWhoosh Championships, and our category 2 women are away. Samara Shepherd holding 1 on GC. Her teammate Koivunen in second, 2 minutes down now. That sprint competition being held by Lopez. Shepherd holding the Queen of the Mountains competition, and all of those 3 are up for grabs today. The overall, as well as on this stage today. So Koivunen, Daniel, Shepherd, Gonzalez, Zimmerman, Giraldo, Bardeskaya, all coming out of that start pen clear and up to pace quickly as this pack move out of the first 500 metres from that start pen.
I think it's going to be very, very telling today in the early stages of this racing, whether or not the team are going to accept Shepherd as their leader here, or whether Koivunen is going to look to challenge that, whether they've got team orders, because they have a reasonable gap to Lopez, 3 minutes 33 from Koivunen, so that makes it over 5.5 minutes from Shepherd. So they could race today against each other. They might have been given a free hand today to race against each other. We've got to bear in mind here that Shepherd took her yellow jersey by taking the win on stage 4. Where did we finish? Top of a mountain. Where did we finish on stage 5? Top of a mountain. Where did Koivunen beat Shepherd? Yesterday on the flat.
Yes, but I'm going to caveat that with a but. There's 2 minutes and 7 seconds separating them. They are on the same team. They have first and second Cern up. With that 3-minute 33 gap to third place, I don't think we're going to see that at the moment. I think we're going to see them absolutely riding together. And look at that. There they are, 1 and 2, side by side at the front of the pack. I think this is about protecting both positions, not fighting each other.
Oh, you're far nicer than I am. I would definitely be thinking, well, do you know what? So long as we don't endanger the team, let's go for it. Why not? Why not?
I can tell you which one of us in this commentary room would be the lead-out rider and which one would be the sprinter on the wheel. Because,
Yeah, which one would be getting told off for not following team orders? That'd be me. Yep.
So
definitely.
As our category 2 women come over the bridge through the marina at the moment, they are well and truly now into this final stage. So we are day 8 of the MyWhoosh Championships, and boy has it disappeared quickly, with some exciting riding, flat stages, mountain stages, and individual time trial. The MyWhoosh Championships has absolutely had it all, and these women have made the racing so exciting throughout all 4 of the categories. Category 2 are no exception, with the racing really competitive.
And we're sitting at 30 kilometers an hour here. We are not hanging around as we come in through towards that Dubai sprint here, Emma. These category 2 women, we've said this before on the Sunday Race Club, they are really, really competitive. It's a very close category, and they are probably They're on that nice point, aren't they? That sort of sweet spot between being really, really strong, really fast, but not yet having sort of that elite clinical cynicism and clean racing without the emotion. I find that their racing, it's got a little bit more spirit almost than Category 1. Category 1 is very clean. They're very precise in what they do. It's a very measured race. And I think sometimes we see better racing from Category 2. Sorry, Category 1 riders, but it's true.
Well, we do have a real mix of riders, Matt, and I think Category 1, a number of them are indeed professional riders. They are elite riders. They are world-class riders.
Yep.
For a lot of them, that is what they do for a living. Category 2, not quite so the case. Often in Category 2, they are mixing their riding and their racing with full-time careers. So, I'm not saying that doesn't happen in Category 1 either, but whilst we watch Mina Konstantin off the front here, she's putting an attack in here, and she's really going for this at the moment. Now, this is 2.5 kilometres into this race today. The first sprint comes at 3.8, but this first sprint from Konstantin has come early today. She is across the marina, and she is going for it.
And look at this. This is a move to try and break the stranglehold of her teammate. It can't be anything else, surely, here.
Well,
and look at the damage she's doing. Or she's looking to put the rest of the riders in trouble. And that is the other thing. If she goes on the attack, who's going to chase her? Shepherd says, well, do you know what? It's my teammate. I don't mind. Everybody else has to chase. Her team doesn't chase, and it puts all the other riders in trouble prior to the sprint. Fantastic.
It is a real bit of tactics, isn't it, coming to play here? And I think Category 2 often are a really, really interesting category to watch. When we see them on the Sunday Race Club as well, they are so well matched, this category, in terms of who's who and their abilities. It is such tight racing, and we get to see some fantastic tactics, and we often get to see amazing sprints from this group. And this MyWhoosh Championships has been nothing but the same.
It has indeed. And look at this. Where is the response? Where's the yellow jersey? I think the yellow jersey is going to play this smart. Going to go, well, do you know what? We've already got an agreement to share the prize money. It doesn't matter who goes down the road, but guess what? We're going to send her down the road because she's going to go get some time in on there and really go for this. And why not? Why would you not want to do that? The other thing you've got to remember is that Lopez is up there in the sprint competition, but it could well be that Koivunen knows that she goes better from a higher pace anyway, so she might as well just crack on and let the rest of the riders potentially tire themselves out. This is great racing, and I really want to see what that time gap is now. Now we see a response coming, and somebody who's got off the front there like an absolute rocket.
Yeah, and it is indeed. Well, could you put your money on Angie Parra? Because it's Angie Parra who is going after Koivunen now. Parra, 9th on GC, 8th in the sprint, 8th in the mountains competition.
Winner of stage 1. First of our jersey wearers in the Category 2 racing as well. And yellow jersey wearing after stage 1. And maybe she's looking to bookend this out and will not be letting anybody else get down the road.
Well, is this all about the glory of the final stage, or is this all about GC? That we will be able to tell at the later stages. But Lopez goes over Koivunen because she is pushing on. Actually, that's going over the top of Parra. My mistake there. But this is the sprint at 3.8 kilometres, and they are motoring.
They are. Lopez has had to go push through there to try and take the points. Lopez scores 3 points in 3rd place. Hermansen and Quintero scoring above her, but that makes it Lopez's competition. Subject to verification there. I think we're just going to have a double check back. Hermansen got 1 more point, so actually she's closed the gap down there, but I don't think there's enough points available now. 20 points available between these riders, and that gap now sits at what I think is 23.
Interesting riding there by the strong women, Matt. Quintero is 10th in the sprint competition, but she's taking points off of Lopez by supporting her team rider, Hermansen.
I don't think that worked, though. I think what's happened by Hermansen, if Hermansen had taken 5 there, she would have been in the best chance to score. But you've got to remember that Lopez only needed to get 1 point. That would have been enough. She got 3. I think that's sewn up. We will, of course, find that all these results are subject to verification, and they are live and subject to maths, and all the usual caveats that we put out on the commentary. So please do make sure that you jump onto mywhoosh.com/results, check out the results, and then whilst you're there, download the app. Make sure you've got it ready to go for our very first qualifier for the next month's Sunday Race Club, where we're going to be back very quickly indeed. We do get a little bit of a break on tomorrow.
Yeah, so our Category 4 riders now at the 20-kilometre mark. They are through sprint number 2. They are still a pack on the road. On our Category 3 race, it is fast and furious in this Category 3 race. The screen is alight with red and they are not on that climb yet. So taking a look at Category 3, they are on the rolling section. 12.8 kilometers was where this climb started. It's a 1 kilometer climb. They are on this Category 4 hill. Now, look at these numbers, 4.1, 4.2, 4, 4.8 from Cabanatan at the moment. This is a real push on here. This is all about this first Category 4 climb today and the points that are on offer.
It is, and what a ride here. Really interesting to see who's pushing, who's not. We've got the polka dot jersey up there, we've got a youth jersey, we've got our Masters jersey, and our yellow jersey in the mix. It really does show you that this overall race has provided us with worthy winners in each of our categories who have not just been able to get right the way through the stage, but are the riders who have the power and the performance to back it up.
Well, absolutely. And Carolus is here. Botero, Walkenhurst is here. So is Carmona. Now, this is the Queen of the Mountains competition. Will we see Walkenhurst go for this? Because she's 3 points down on Carmona. There are 10 points today left in this competition, but the push on is going to be required to pick up those points.
And I think it's going to be really interesting to see who takes them. Remember, there are the points at stake for the day and for the overall. That was a real interesting sprint at the end there because they all left it. There was a bit of brinkmanship. Who's going to blink first there as they come through? Let's have a look at the timings. So as we go through, look at that. Carmona takes top spot and has a gap down to a Walkenhurst here. So Carmona has extended her lead. She was on 38 points in the lead, 35 to Walkenhurst, and now that is going to be 43 points for Carmona, and then it is going to be what is 37 for Walkenhurst. Really interesting there, and Agudelo right up in the mix as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, by my reckoning, Matt, if Carmona doesn't score any points in the next climb, Walkenhurst could equal it, but I think Carmona's just wrapped that up.
Well, we will see when we get to the end. Now, on to our last category to start today, the final category to start on the MyWhoosh Championships for 2023 in our women's competition. Now, in our team competition, this is the team for me that had one of the best days at the office for a long time.
Well, absolutely. The Risky Biscuits team yesterday, absolutely astounding performances. And, you know, they really mixed it up on GC. So Biarhead moving from 7th to 5th, Donny moving from 5th to 4th, Fua moving from 4th to 3rd. They all had a seriously good day. And for me, that was about the team competition.
Indeed. Now, the Asian Watts teams have been riding well. They've got Kekkonen in 7th. They've got Hadlock in 11th and Montoya in 12th place. And I think this team have been riding really well. The Golden Wheels team, well, we know that they are right up there. Emma's favourite sprintteam.com ever. Pretty much Julie Sanchez, Jenny Sanchez, and Maria Santiago doing the business. And all three riders inside the top 10 on GC.
Yeah, absolutely. And all three riders in the top 10 on the sprint competition as well. So the team standing at the moment, it is the Risky Biscuits. We said they were dominant in terms of upper echelons of the GC from the Asian Watts and the Golden Wheels squad.
In fact, in terms of that overall GC, you got to remember that they are all but the top two
Yeah, so the sprint standings at the moment, Jenny Sanchez being absolutely dominant with 103 points at the moment from Montoya on 34, Kokkonen on 33, Brogan on 31, and Veronica on 30. So tight, tight, tight behind, but Sanchez, she's been phenomenal.
Sanchez basically now doesn't need to ride any of these sprints today to still take away the overall jersey, but there are prizes, of course, for today's sprint winner on the stage. Now, the Queen of the Mountains has that same competition in terms of a winner on the day and the overall, but the overall here is tied between Jojo Bauer and Gemma Brogan. They are the 1-2 on GC on the general classification overall, but a big time gap between them. Gemma Brogan with an issue yesterday. If you were watching yesterday, you've seen Gemma Brogan drop out of our screens on the time trial. However, we did have her on the main server rolling all the way through to the finish in her second parcel. So it means that we had a full record of a ride, but she lost time on the way through with that issue. And it means that the stage winner, well, no surprises, Jojo Bauer taking top spot. Great ride by Maria Santiago to take the under 23 win on the day in the time trial. But of course, because it was a time trial, no sprint, no climb, and no change in that competition until today, when, of course, we are going to see that played out on the slopes in front of you. So this is the women's category number 1. They're lined up awaiting their start.
So as the clock ticks down on the final stage of the MyWhoosh Championships 2023 for our Category 1 women, it is Jojo Bauer in 1 by 11 minutes. Yes, I'm going to say that again, 11 minutes from second place, Gemma Brogan. Category 1 is away. Our last category away on the MyWhoosh Championships. It is stage 7. It is day 8. These riders have given us some phenomenal riding, and the GC has been changing regularly in this category. We have had a phenomenal competition. We've got 5 sprints, 2 category 4 climbs left, as well as that checkered flag.
So let's see who's going to take away today. About today's stage, about taking away the prizes in today's stage win, in today's stage mountains competition, and in today's sprint competition. And in terms of overall, realistically, it is going to be between the two teammates, Jojo Bauer and Gemma Brogan, both riding for that Crank Sisters teams, who are going to be fighting for the mountain points. How hard that fight is, well, we have seen them regularly in competition against each other. They have been 2 of our standout riders on Sunday Race Club. They are the 2 standout riders realistically in this competition. Yesterday, though, and let's just take a run back very quickly, Emma. The time trial really, for me, has shaken up the standings as much, almost, if not more, than the mountains.
Yeah, absolutely. That individual time trial yesterday was absolutely brilliant. Jojo Bauer in 1, Donny in 2, Marin in 3, Fua in 4, Brogan in 5, Bjarhead in 6, and the time gap. So it was 3 minutes between Bauer and Bjarhead in 6th place. Now that shook it all up on GC. So whilst Bauer and Brogan stayed the same in 1 and 2, it was behind that it was all change. So, and Fua moved into 3rd, Donny moved into 4th, Bjarhead moves into 5th. Geraldo Arrayas in the Risky Biscuits squad was the rider who didn't benefit from that, because she went from 3rd to 6th. But we really did see them absolutely benefit from that time trial yesterday.
And if you think about it, I mean, okay, all 4 riders behind Brogan and Bauer are from the same team, with Fua, Geraldo Arrayas, Donny and Bjarhead. How they sit in those standings has changed. And I think Catherine Fua really has shown that we've seen this on the Sunday Race Club, she can sit at a pace, she can really time trial, she can put her own effort in. Really great performance from her. Great ride by Chiara Donny as well. And
absolutely brilliant.
And I think probably when you look at Donny, she got 2nd in the last 2 stages. So where we would have been with Brogan not having an issue on the way through, maybe she would have taken 2nd, maybe she wouldn't. Because I think those rides really showed that the Risky Biscuits are getting their timing right, and I think they've still got something to give today.
Well, I think yesterday was all about cementing that team win. The Risky Biscuits came out, they knew they were in the lead in the team competition, and they wanted to cement that, and they absolutely came out and did it in style.
and they're not going to let that go. I just can't see that. They're such experienced racers, and they've worked so well together that I think no matter what the teams throw at them, pretty much, I think they're capable of answering that in terms of the team competition. Whether anybody can throw anything at Jojo Bauer to stop her, I'm not sure. It'd probably take a very big rock from a very big height, putting a very big hole in the road in front of her for her to even slow down. She'd probably just jump over it or something, because she's just been phenomenal. And realistically, when you look at Jojo Bauer, she's won 4 out of the 6 stages. She has taken that jersey and really, it switched about in the early stages, but by the time you got to stage 4, 5, and 6, she has been really on top form and got better as the stage race has gone on.
Well, I think what Bauer has shown us is her climbing ability. We've seen her on the Sunday Race Club when, the checkered flag is at the top of a category 1 or a hawk category climb. She is a consummate climber, and she showed yesterday she's a consummate time trialer as well, and she just rode away from them. She's done that before on the Sunday Race Club. She did that yesterday, and we know that she is so strong and on form as well. Brogan also on form throughout, but we've had some really good. So Cordero rode really well on stages 3 and 4. Let's not forget that. Marin has had 3 third places as well. So, a large number of riders in the mix. It hasn't necessarily been consistent every day for everyone. People have really shone in their speciality.
Yeah, very much so. Daniela Marin, probably one of the least remarked upon, yet absolutely top 5 performances, and got to say, brilliantly done by her on the way through. But I think all of our riders who are racing have got to be very proud of the racing that they have put in front of us.
Well, they've given us a spectacle to watch as well, which has been absolutely superb. So whilst our riders are battling it out for GC, the sprint competition, the mountains, and each day's winnings, they have given us a great race to watch.
They have indeed, and we're heading in towards our first sprint. And remember that Jenny Sanchez has got the overall wrapped up. This is about today's sprint points, realistically, in terms of where that prize money will be heading at the end of the verification process. So this is about who will be taking away today's sprint prize. And do not discount Jenny Sanchez from trying to mop this up as well. She really has shown she has the very big kick. But will we see one of the riders, so for example Jojo Bauer, who has got the overall pretty much wrapped up, now going, do you know what, let's go play sprinting? Who's at the back? Yellow jersey and the sprint jersey. Going to be fun.
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch this, isn't it? Because, well, Sanchez has really laid off the back of that group, and we've got a couple of riders. We've got Montoya in there as well, laying off, but they've just pushed on a little bit. So 2 riders laying off at the back. It's Montoya and Sanchez. Now, that is a big gap to run into.
That's maybe too big a gap to run into. I think Sanchez is going to have to wind this up a little bit earlier than we thought, because this is a long run. I don't think she's going to be able to take this. She's dropped right off on the watts per kilo, and I don't think there's any way.
There she goes.
She goes. She's going to kick now. She's not going to get much draft advantage, but she's got Montoya in front of her.
But Montoya is kicking harder. Montoya's at 12 watts per kilo. Oh, goodness me. Montoya's at 12.3 watts per kilo. She is really going for this. Sanchez at 8. I think Montoya is going to take this. Cordero is pushing on up front, but Montoya is putting in a storming kick.
She is indeed, but we haven't seen what went on the front or in that group. Very interesting, and that was too big a layoff. Look at this. Sanchez is not yet with the group. She can't sit up until she gets there, because she won't want to get dropped by them. And she's had to go over the top and a long way through that sprint and out the other side because of it. And as Emma said there, Montoya indeed taking the sprint points today. Sanchez takes second place. It was 2 riders who took the run from the back of the group through, picking up the what little bit of draft they could on the way through there. Interesting to see Chiara Dolly taking 3rd place there, with Biar heading 4th, Fua in 5th place. But when you look down there, Emma, for me, that really was about who was pushing and who was actually sprinting.
Well, absolutely. And Montoya seriously wanting the sprint competition today. She's in second place overall in the sprint competition. But as we said, there is a prize up today for taking today's sprint competition in these 5 sprints. And I think Catherine Montoya is wanting that glory.
I don't blame her. I don't blame her. What way to go out on the end, on the very last stage, than to go home with a bit of a payday and with a bit of the prize money. Let's see what the riders are going to be getting and taking home at the end of the race of that $1 million prize pool.
Wow. Absolutely. So on GC, this is category 1's prize pool. So the individual classification, the GC first place, $10,000 is the prize money, and the team classification, it's $42,000. Now, no wonder the Risky Biscuits were out in force yesterday. There's also the Sprint Youth Queen of the Mountains and Masters prize pot of $5,000 for first place in each of those competitions overall. But today we also have prize money today. Today's stage winner will walk away with $1,000, the sprint winner $500, and the Queen of the Mountains winner today $500 as well.
So effectively that is going to be all about the prize money today in terms of the sprints. And here we go, another sprint finish being contested. This is in category 4 this time, and Ella Vink in category 4 going for that. So Vink, I think, Emma, looking to tie up some more prize money on the way through. We'll take a look at those results as soon as they are compiled. In fact, look at that.
Yeah.
Super quick today.
So that was sprint number 3 in category 4, and Madeira actually taking that from Vink with 5 points. Vink taking 4, Amansori taking 3, Poulton taking 2, and Pelagio taking 1. Now that was about your position in the group rather than your maximum watts.
And Madeira coming through, and if you look at those watts per kilo, she's only about half a watt per kilo behind Ella Vink, and that clearly was telling on that sprint as they came in through there. So very interesting indeed. Good ride by Maya Madeira.
Now, looking at this group, we've got our category 4 riders still in a large group. So 6, 7, 8, 9 riders I'm counting in this group at the moment. They're at 27.7 kilometers into this 50-kilometer race. Back at 21.8k is our category 3 race. They are the group riding across the bridge. They're slightly stretched at the moment, but at 21 kilometers, they are past sprint number 2. Our category 2 riders at 15 kilometers, they are through sprint 1, they are through climb 1, they are coming up to sprint number 2 at 19k, whereas our category 1 race, it's 11 minutes in at 6.5 kilometers into this course today. Now, Matt, this course today, it is pretty much a flat start for the first 10k. Then we've got a rolling midsection and a much flatter end.
A rolling midsection, it sounds like something out of a seafaring novel. We've got a rolling midsection in the middle of the ocean. The rolling midsection, you're right, Emma. I'm joking there, but it starts off and then builds. And this middle section, I think, the way that the courses have been designed over the last 7 stages, including this one, have all been really, really, really good. So it's been very, very impressive how those rides have unplayed, how the racing has played out, and how this has gone. I think it's been really, really interesting to see, and it's promoted aggressive racing, and that's what we're seeing now.
Well, absolutely aggressive racing in this category 2 race. This is Mina Koinstonen. Now, we did talk about her early because she had put in that first attack of the day, and she's put in another attack of the day here. So Koinstonen from Blue Forest Racing, currently second on GC, 2 minutes 7 down on her teammate Shepherd. It is Shepherd who is watching the front of the pack. You know, Matt Shepherd is leading the group behind, 12 seconds back. Lopez and Hermansen are behind her, and look at the stretch here. They are utilizing this climb. Now, this is not a categorized climb, but this is in the rolling midsection, and this rolling midsection really doing some damage now to this category 2 race.
Don't make me laugh in the commentary box, please. Yes, the rolling midsection is indeed doing the damage. I mean, you're dead right. You look at the gradient, 6% on this bridge, and Koiston has gone for this. Shepherd tried to break clear, Lopez has gone onto a wheel now, and that is not what they wanted to see, because of course Lopez is the rider in third place and on a different team. Now, what's going to happen behind? Can anybody answer the move here that's gone up the road from the front three? Let's face it, we are looking at riders who are racing for a stage win today. There is still that stage win up for grabs, even if nothing were to change in the overall. And something could change, but your top three riders being down the road, just showing that at the end of the racing, the cream has come to the top, I think.
Well, it is an interesting perspective today, because that is all out in the Category 2 race. This is the Category 1 race. You know, we are just coming up for 8 kilometres here. This is a fairly flat section at the moment, and Geraldo Arraias is the rider who has pushed on here. This is a rider in the Risky Biscuits squad. Arraias has pushed on. Bauer is the rider chasing. Donny and Brogan and Fua are the riders behind.
And it is all stretched out. If you have been watching, you'll remember that this is where we've come out from the pens on a number of our stages coming in here. So let's see where they're going to be.
Yeah. So Geraldo Arraias putting in the first real attack in our Category 1 race today. Bauer, the rider, closing it down. Marin in two. Donny, Fua, Bjarhead are all up there watching the action, keeping their eyes open. Hadlock is in there as well. Now, this is all about who is going to be able to break free, and it is going to be a eyeballs out race, I think, in this Category 1 field to the end.
It is indeed. Now let's take a look at Al Mansouri on here. Let's just watch her in action as she starts to open up that gap. So here we go, Al Mansouri, just keeping an eye on her there as we came down. I was watching her pedal cadence, her heart rate on the way through here, and Al Mansouri really going for this. Musa Al Mansouri has really proved to be a thorn in the side of the teams. She's riding in a solo category, so she doesn't have to worry about team tactics, and she has gone for this, really pushing on here. She's ahead of Geraldo Poulton-Smithson, and I think she wants to move up. Now, it was a huge gap for her to close down on Smithson in the GC, but if Al Mansouri can break clear here, remember we are coming up to 30 kilometers and got the gap on the way out. Once she makes her way up and over the end of the second climb, and that's at 32.7k, so at about 33k, really, you've got a pretty smooth run in there, and that could be to her benefit.
Well, the question is, Matt, is she banking on the fact that everybody else is thinking about GC, the sprints and the Queen of the Mountains, and not thinking about the stage win today? Now, this is a really, really brave move from Al Mansouri, pushing on at the moment. So Al Mansouri now 8 seconds clear of Tanguy and Pelagio, the two riders at the front of the group behind.
Am I allowed to cheer her on here? Because I think this is brilliant. I do. Come on, Musa. This is where you need to push. Get this, use this downhill, get the momentum rolling, get through the base and on to that section of climb. This is a really good push, and it's putting other people in a quandary. You can see behind, we're seeing 1 watt per kilo, 1.2. Those are the two.
They're not interested in chasing.
Rolling in, and they're not. And this is the chance. When you are given that chance, you have to take it. You have to grasp that tri-bar by both hands and use every sinew, every muscle in the body to push onwards here. And this is where she can open up the time. Use the time when the rest of them are dithering and faffing about. Get on with it and make it count.
Well, it is an interesting effort there by Al Mansouri as we drop in with our Category 2 race. They are coming up for, indeed, that 19-kilometre banner, which is sprint number 2.
And again, we've got that solo lead by Koivunen, who is just clear of Lopez and Shepard, but expect Lopez to sprint through here and close on to Koivunen. So Koivunen just keeping that tempo, but look at Lopez coming now. Lopez is pushing, but so is Shepard. This is going to be very, very close on time, I suspect. What will this do to the 3 riders lead on the chasers behind? The chasers now starting to come in, and Engstrom now winding it up from that group as she comes in towards the banner. Now, will the group take the faster time, or will the 3 attackers have the fast time through here? Really interesting to watch the difference here between them. More draft in the group behind, potentially more power in front, and look at that. It is Shepherd and Lopez taking that. And then if we look down there, you can see that the rest of that pack came in between Lopez and Koivunen. So very interesting. 5 points going to Shepherd, 4 points going to Lopez, 3 to Hermansen, 2 to Engstrom, and 1 to Miller.
Well, it is an interesting competition hotting up there, but the gap now to the leading 3 on the road is now becoming fairly substantial. It is now just going out to around 20 seconds. So it is fluctuating a little bit, but we've got Koivunen, Lopez and Shepherd, 3 riders now clear. Now a 3-rider breakaway stands much more of a chance, Matt, than a 1 individual lone rider.
Yep, and let's face it, if you are going for the win on the stage, you want that win on that stage. You've not gone for it in terms of overall GC, because these 3 riders, they've got to mark each other. They can't let anybody go down the road, so why not just all 3 go down the road? And then you've a 1 in 3 chance of taking that stage win. That's much better odds than you versus the rest of the peloton.
Yeah, absolutely. But it looks as though it is a group behind not doing a huge amount of chasing. Now, this group of category 1 riders are now up on to the bridge here. They are at 11.2k. They are not quite at the first category 4 climb, but this is the bridge climb before that, isn't it? So this is now moving into that rolling midsection on this race. So as we come into these rolling climbs, it is not long now till our category 1 race field face the Bahrain climb, coming at 12.8 kilometers, the first of 2 category 4 climbs today. And that Queen of the Mountains competition in category 1, well, it's a dead tie at the moment between Bauer and Brogan, so all to play for today.
It is indeed. Now, next of our sprints, this is the run in and through for the riders racing in category 3 here today, and Agudelo leading the group through there. Whether or not she's got the fastest sprint, I don't know, and she's got to be careful here because she won't want to get caught out by the riders who have just sprinted through, continuing to push on. And that is one of the things with, if the terrain doesn't cause a split, it could well be that we are going to see a split post sprint. So Agudelo with the fastest time through that sprint, coming through with 5 points. Then it's Carolus with 4, Walkenhurst with 3, Barragan with 2, and Botero with 1.
Well, I'm just looking on that list at the moment, Matt, for Jenny Tan. Now, I can't see her there, so that makes me think that she's not in that front group in the category 3 race, and she's not. I'm just scrolling down that screen and I can see her. It looks like minutes back now.
Well, this is going to be very instrumental here. We've got to keep an eye on that because Jenny Tan, of course, is the leader overall coming in the sprints, but Agudelo was 10 points behind. She's just taken 5. Trying to think back to the very first of our sprints. What did she have in our first sprint, Emma?
So the first sprint today, Agudelo came through in 2nd place. In the second sprint, she came through in 1st, and she has just come through that sprint as well in 1st place. Now, Jenny Tan in the first sprint came through in 3rd. She came through, I'm just having a little look here, in 3rd in sprint 2, and she's not yet come through sprint number 3.
So, Jenny Tan on the right-hand side of your screen, when she goes through the sprint, she's going to have to sprint solo here. But she knows what she has to do now. She's doing what's known as a Ross Fawcett in the commentary train, because doing a Ross Fawcett, basically Ross is the last man in the category 1 men's race on the road. However, he's the fastest sprinter, and he has been putting on some fantastic performances. He's really, really great. And the same with Carl Tyson. He's doing Tyson, sprinting through, taking sprint wins. This is really, really key. Tan has to do that because at the moment, Agudelo, by my master, I think she's just about in front. So that is in the sprints. Now back to the overall race and the race for the stage category 1. Now seeing a move being made by Jojo Bauer. Where's she making a move? She's making it on the climb, and Julie Sanchez is the one going after her. Now, this is 1 kilometer long. If you can sprint well enough to be able to push yourself up into the points in the sprints, if you can climb a bit as well, and we know that Julie Sanchez can, well, now's the time to go, because a 1K climb, probably my favorite length of climb.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because the competition on GC is between Brogan and Bauer. The competition in the Queen of the Mountains is also between Brogan and Bauer, and it's Bauer who has kicked on here. So Bauer, who is in that yellow jersey, has kicked on this first category 4 climb today. She is looking to take the fastest time, but Julie Sanchez is the rider who is pushing on. Now, she's from the Golden Wheels team, and we've seen them sprinting phenomenally, but not evident in this Queen of the Mountains competition. But Sanchez, the one to decide today that she is not going to let Bauer go down the road. Brogan is the rider pushing on behind. She's covered by Fua and Biarhead, but Brogan in the polka dot jersey at the moment, because Bauer, they are tied on points, but Bauer wearing the yellow jersey.
Now, this is going to be about where did they come into this section. Well, do we have a gap behind? Do we have a gap in front? What's the distance in front? What's the distance behind as they go over the line? Where are they exactly? Remember, this is time. This is not about who's first over the line. It's about who has the fastest time through that segment. No difference in scores, 35 points apiece as they came through. Just seeing the rest of this group come through, and this has fractured the race field all over the place. And as Emma has said, we are coming into the middle of third of the course, and that is where we are going to see some changes. Now, look at the differences here. Bauer taking 5 points. She's opened a 2-point lead on Brogan here, because Bauer's score will now be 40. It is going to be Brogan currently sitting at 38 points. Julie Sanchez has just scored 4, but she's not in the top 10 in that points competition overall. Fua has just scored herself another 2 points. That's going to take it up to 5. So I think at the moment, Bauer firing the first shot, and that means that basically Brogan has to finish more than 2 places above Bauer in the final climb segment. So that's how it's going to work. Essentially, because if they're tied on points, it will go to the higher on the GC, and that is going to be Bauer. The odds are that Brogan basically has to win, and you're going to have to see Bauer in second, if not in first, sorry, in the second to last, if not in the last place as they come through. So it's going to be a big win. Well, let's see how that progresses as they go onwards here. Let's take a look at some of our other categories. So, because one of the great things about the championship, Emma, that I've absolutely loved is that we have got riders in multiple categories. It's not just about the elite riders at the top, racing on again, just playing the game. This is about riding for everybody, and that is one of the great things about MyWhoosh, whether it's on the training platforms, whether it is one of the training programs, whether that's about getting down with your mates and your friends, and we've seen it with your team down and riding in the same place. For me, this is all about being able to offer prizes across all of the categories and great competition against your peers, and we're seeing that time and time again. Now, Musa Al-Mansouri just coming in through the next of our segments there. So the race continuing onwards, and it is absolutely frantic today.
It is indeed, and it is indeed. This category 4 race have just come through sprint number 4. So 1 sprint left to go. They have completed both climbs. They are on sprint number 4, and that sprint being taken by Ella Vink, Smithson in 2, Poulton in 3, Loxley in 4, and Tanglian in 5, and those are the point scorers today.
Yeah, really interesting run through there. So category number 4 going in and through. They are at 35k at the moment, with Al-Mansouri at the moment just losing a little bit of ground on to the group in front. She's got to keep picking this up, and this is one of the things that happens in the sprint, isn't it? If you don't contest the sprint, the riders in the group who do contest it will go flying through and go in front and then that can give you problems further back.
Yeah, well, the sprint competition not yet complete because there is one more sprint, but the climb competition absolutely now done and dusted because category 4 have been through both of those climbs, and it is indeed Amy Loxley, by my reckoning, who will take that Queen of the Mountains competition over the line today.
Well, congratulations to Amy for being the first of our provisional winners in the championships of the mountain competition. The first one that we have all of the segments complete across the men's and the women's races, and it is Amy Loxley who has got that sewn up. We know that Elevik had already sewn up the sprint competition. That's before the very last sprint segment. But congratulations to them. And of course, will Ella take away top spot? Loxley 41 seconds down in the overall. Now, remember, we have our women and our men in progress today. The women's have started. They're well down the road at the moment. I am going to be making my way across as the action unfolds, making my way over to the men's race for the men's start very shortly. Please do make sure you join us now. A quick heads up. Remember, of course, we have our Sunday Race Club. Emma and I will be back for the Sunday Race Club on, guess when? It's on Sunday. We are actually on stage race days. Today is stage 8 day. I don't know what actual day it is. It must be, I think, Friday. Probably.
It's Friday.
I'm glad you're remembering that, Emma. So we are going to be changing over to that. We still have the men's race to go, so please do, when you finish watching the women's race, switch over, either watch from the start or watch live the men's race as well for our final stage there, and lots of great competition coming up on that as well. Emma will be joining me, but please may I just say thank you everybody for watching and racing. It's been a pleasure being here for the women's race, and I'm looking forward to being back and watching the end of this. When I finish the men's race, I'm going to be sat down with a celebratory ice cream.
Yeah, so we are going to say goodbye to Matt from the women's race today, and I am going to run you through all the rest of the action, and then I'm going to join him in the commentary box for the end of the men's race today. So bear with us for a few minutes while Matt leaves the studio. So Matt has left the studio to head over to start the men's race, and in front of us at the moment we have the finishing sections of the women's race. This is the final stage. This is day 8, stage 7 of the MyWhoosh Championships 2023. Our category 4 women on the bottom right hand side of your screen, coming up for 37.5 kilometers of this 50 kilometer stage. Our category 3 women, 33 kilometers. They are just through that final Queen of the Mountain segment and coming up for sprint number 4. Category 2 at 27.3 kilometers. Category 1, our last riders out of the start pen today, coming up for 19 kilometers now of this race complete. So our category 3 race field at 33.3 kilometers, they have just come up and over that category 4 climb. It was the second climb of the day today, and rounding out that Queen of the Mountains competition. So the Marina Valley climb, the final category 4 climb in this competition, and just being able to take a look at those results, it's looking like Carmona was the rider taking the fastest time up that climb today. So Carmona being the rider pushing on there and taking that climb. So our rider currently in second position overall in GC. She's first in the Queen of the Mountains competition, cementing that from that final climb. Now, these riders now moving through here, just around the roundabout here, and they are going to sweep off and round towards the sprint number 4. So we've got a group of riders here. We've got 6 riders clear in this category 3 race. They've got a 20-second gap back, and it's Tanningen who is leading the charge behind. But Carolus, Carmona, Agudelo, Botero, all in this group. So we can see the lead group now in this category 3 race. Walkenhurst is here, Agudelo is here, Barragan, Botero, Carolus, all in this group. Tanningen is the rider missing out. She is leading the group behind. As you can see on the top right-hand corner of your screen, this category 3 lead group now sweeping up, and we'll be shortly seeing the back of that category 4 race. So at 34.3 kilometers, they have 400-meter run in now until they see the start of sprint number 4. The Queen of the Mountains competition is wrapped up already. We've got 2 more sprints to go in the sprint competition, as well as the finish line for GC. So we're just seeing Agudelo here. Just having a little bit of a challenge here, but just pushing on now. So this gradient just kicking a little bit here, 7.5% we can see. We're just coming up this climb, and it is a little bit tricky here because the sprint is on the downhill. So this climb now really pushing these riders. So Walkenhurst in 1, Carmona in 2, Botero pushing hard to close the gap. So is Barragan. These riders working hard to stay together because Walkenhurst is the rider in the lead here. Carmona is in 2. Now that is 1 and 2 on GC overall. Botero and Barragan working hard to stay with them as they go under that banner, signifying the start of this race. 300-meter sprint coming on the section. Take a look, we're at 60 kph at the moment, and it is pushing on here. Carolus is the rider kicking, and Carolus is kicking hard. Agudelo is coming up from behind. Agudelo is sat at 8 watts per kilo at the moment. She is really pushing through this sprint. Now, who is going to take this sprint? It is not the final sprint. There is one more. This is sprint number 4. So sprint number 4 now complete for the category 3 women. The RAK Mall sprint, and it is indeed Agudelo who takes that 5 points today. Carolus takes 4. Those 2 riders being the riders contending that sprint, because take a look at the watts per kilo from Carmona, Cabanatan and Botero, 2.9, 2.3, 2.7, coming through faster in the pack, but not contending that sprint. So sprints coming from Agudelo and Carolus only. So these riders now coming through what was sprint number 4. They are now transitioning to sprint number 5, the Dubai sprint, that will be at 46.1 kilometers. And this is the map in Arabia. It is a 50-kilometer course today for our women. This is stage 7, day 8 of the MyWhoosh Championships. So 340 meters of elevation across the course today, and you can see that on the profile map for you, all pretty much coming in the central segment of the parkour. So a pretty flat run in, a pretty flat run out, but a rolling terrain in the middle. Now our category 3 women, we've just seen them come through sprint number 4. They have the Dubai sprint left at 46.1 kilometers, and then that checkered flag at 50 kilometer mark, and that will indeed be the final sprint should a group come in of the day today. So 5 sprints, 2 category 4 climbs in this final stage on the MyWhoosh Championships for our women today. So we can see all 4 categories out on the course. Category 1 are to start today, 22 kilometers. Category 2 a little further down the road. Category 3 we have just seen come through sprint number 4, and category 4 now into the final 10 kilometers of this race today. So category 4 were the first riders to start. They have less than 10 kilometers to go now, just 1 sprint and then the finish line for them. Category 3 are now moving strongly. Category 2, a large group here at the front of category 2, whereas category 1, it is looking like we have a much smaller group at the front of that race. So Brogan, Bauer and Marin definitely in that front group, with Fua in that category 1 race. I can see 4 riders there, and you can just see on the screen Marin is there as well. So on that top screen you've got a breakaway now, having come through this rolling section, and this breakaway now 5 riders. Marin is the rider a little bit further back. Donny in fact, actually, let's just take a look at this. So Brogan, Bauer, Biarhead and Marin, Fua as well. So 5 riders here. We then have Biarhead, and Donny is the rider just off the back by the looks of this, 4 seconds back. Julie Sanchez 38 seconds back. So that indeed is where that gap is forming. So this is Chiara Donny. She has got Biarhead, Fua, Marin and Bauer in her sights. They are 5 seconds up the road. So Donny here with a 30-second gap back to Julie Sanchez and a 5-second gap in front to the leading group. So at 23.3 kilometers in this race, category 1 women are through the Bahrain sprint. That's sprint number 2 that came at 19 kilometers. They're coming up the sprint number 3, and that is at 26.8 kilometers. Our category 2 women, we are in with Samara Shepherd. She's wearing yellow on GC in this category 2 race. She's got her Masson on her wheel with Engström as well. They are at 32 kilometers. Now this is the second sprint of the day today. This is the second category 4 sprint, the Marina Valley climb. They are climbing out of the valley they dropped into. It is a 1 kilometer category 4 climb with an average gradient of 4.5%. Now Shepherd is pushing on here. This is around the stage win in the Queen of the Mountains competition today. Shepherd in the lead on GC as well in terms of that Queen of the Mountains competition. Overall, as we came in with a small gap back to Engström pushing on here and trying to contest this as well. So we are looking at our category 2 women. We are looking at this second category 4 climb of the day. Now the Bahrain climb that came first, it was indeed Hermassen who picked up 5 points from Shepherd, from Engström, from Lopez and Gonzalez Rua. Who is going to pick up the points here? So the points on the Bahrain climb, the first category 4 climb of the day, looking like they may well have sealed up that overall Queen of the Mountains competition in category 2, because Shepherd picked up 5 points. Sorry, Shepherd picked up 4 points, making it 41. Engström picked up 3 points, putting her on 36. So to take the Queen of the Mountains competition, Engstrom would need to score maximum points here, and Shepherd having a gap back. Now let's take a look at it. So Hermassen picks up 5 points. She will actually take the Queen of the Mountains competition on the stage today. Now the overall Queen of the Mountains competition very much between Engstrom and Shepherd, and whilst Engstrom has picked up 4 points in this Marina Valley climb, Shepherd picks up 3. Now, I think that will give Shepherd the overall victory by 2 points, but we will have to wait and see until the stage is over and the race is verified and the results. Now, you will find those on the MyWhoosh.com website. Once that verification process is over, those results will be finalised. But by my maths, and I wouldn't count on it mid-race, but we are looking like it is indeed Shepherd who will win that overall Queen of the Mountains competition. Now, at 33.5 kilometres, those riders are now running in that Category 2 race 2 sprint number 4. In Category 1, we have a breakaway now with Bauer, Fua, Marin here. 3 riders all together. BR Head 15 seconds back. Donny a little bit further back again before we get the chase group. Now the chase group are 1 minute 42 back. So this is now splitting a little through these rolling sections. And this is this part of the course that we said that was going to be the challenging part, where we would expect to see the attacks. Now, this is Stage 7, Day 8 of the MyWhoosh Championships 2023. It is Friday for those of you which have forgotten what day it is because you have been so wrapped up in the action. Now on Sunday we have the Sunday Race Club. You will see these riders, so some of the riders you have been watching on the MyWhoosh Championships are regulars on the Sunday Race Club. You can head over to mywhoosh.com and you can take a look at the events page, pick up the information on the Sunday Race Club. You will find the technical guide, the rules, the frequently asked questions. Should you be looking at joining us on the start line? And join us on the start line, please, because this Sunday it is qualifier race number 1 for May. Now, if you're not aware of the structure of the Sunday Race Club, we have a round of qualifiers through the month, with the final Sunday of every month being the final. Now, you have to get 2 verified results in the qualifiers to compete in the finals, and that is where the team competition is. The qualifiers are an individual competition with prizes in each category. Again, the men's and women's prizes are equal, and you can find all the information on that in the rule set and the technical guide. So head over there if you want to race alongside the riders you have been watching in the MyWhoosh Championships with 4 race categories. There is something for everybody. Matt and I will be bringing you the Sunday Race Club on Sunday this week. So if you are not on the start line, tune in and watch. We will be on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel. So our Category 1 race field now coming into sprint number 3, and it's looking like this leading group not going to contest this sprint. So we have Bauer, Fua and Marin here, 3 riders in this leading group, all riding through this sprint, not looking to contest it now. I think the contest for the sprint in this Category 1 race will come from behind as they move through sprint number 3. Now, Donny will be the next rider through, and Donny has company here. So BR Head and Donny, the 2 riders together. So just taking a little look here. Donny and BR Head are the 2 riders just dropping through here. Geraldo Arrayas a little bit further back down the road, and behind her is indeed Santiago. Now, Geraldo Arrayas looking like she is moving to contend this sprint, so 6 watts per kilo at the moment coming out of Geraldo Arrayas as she continues to push here. So this is sprint number 3. Geraldo Arrayas winding this up here, continuing to move and continuing to move through this section. So there indeed is the front of the banner for the start of the sprint for Geraldo Areas. Is she going to continue picking up the pace and moving through? She's wound it up in terms of her speed on the entrance in. She's kicking at 6 watts per kilo. I think this is Geraldo Areas moving through this sprint and looking at taking a strong sprint time here. Now, Jenny Sanchez, the leader in the sprint competition overall, is further back down the field, but this indeed is a move from Geraldo Areas to contend that sprint in Category 1. So Geraldo Areas currently setting the fastest time through that sprint in the Category 1 race. Now it's going to be interesting, as we mentioned, because Jenny Sanchez, who is leading the overall competition, further down that race. So Geraldo Areas picking up 5 points. But, and I am going to put a but in here because we have a very big split in this Category 1 race field with our previous sprint competitors in the chasing group. So Geraldo Areas currently holding 5 points, Brogan 4, Biarhead 3, Donny 2, Marin 1, Fua and Bauer, the other 2 riders through so far. Now, that was Category 1. This is Category 4. They have got 4.5 kilometres to go. Yes, 4.5 kilometres left of Stage 7 of the MyWhoosh Championships for our Category 4 race. And Ella Vink now putting in an attack in that yellow jersey. She is leader of the GC and she's putting in an attack now. She wants to win this final stage. She wants to round out her championships by winning. Now, yesterday it was Amy Loxley in yellow. She went into the individual team time trial leading on GC. Vink had an outstanding individual time trial, taking the win, and 41 seconds on Loxley, pushing her into second place. So taking the win in that individual time trial was indeed Ella Vink. She is now aiming on taking the win on the final stage today. She has got 4 kilometres to do so as Amy Loxley is in the chase group. She's sitting on the back of that chase group at the moment, now moving through and looking quite comfortable to stay in that chasing group. Now, Vink pushing on out front. She's pushing at 3.9 watts per kilo. She's got a 12, 13, 14 second gap now on this group, as indeed the group come into the final sprint of the day. So Category 4 coming into the final sprint on this course today, and it's looking like Madeira and Al-Mansouri are the 2 riders pushing on here. So Madeira and Al-Mansouri pushing on this sprint. So we have seen Vink take points in this sprint competition. We have seen Madeira take points, and we have seen Al-Mansouri take points. It's going to be interesting to see who comes through in terms of winning that final sprint. It's looking like at the moment for me that I'm going to say Vink is through. She is indeed. So take a look at that. Vink picking up 5 final points in that last sprint of the day. That was sprint number 5. Second time through the Dubai sprint. Madeira picking up 4. Al-Mansouri picking up 3. Pelagio picking up 2. And Smithson from Team Pans picking up the final point in that sprint competition. So it's 3.6 kilometres from the end of that sprint to the checkered flag, and it is going to be our Category 4 race that see that finish line first. So in that Category 4 race, we have Ella Vink out in 1, a lone breakaway, an attack in the last 5 kilometres. We have Tanglian, Poulton, Loxley, Madeira and Smithson. It is looking like in that group. Pelagio is in there as well. So this group of Category 4 women now in the final 3 kilometres of this race today. A little bit further back with 7 kilometres left to go is our Category 3 race. So that Category 3 race at 43.1k will not come into that final sprint until the 46 kilometre mark. So they still have 3k to go until they reach that final Dubai sprint. In category 3, Carolus, Carmona, Walkenhurst, Botero, Agudelo and Barragan all looking like they are in that group. Again, look at that. It is a strong lead group of women in that category 3 race. The main contenders are all in there. The jersey wearers on GC are all in this group. So 7 riders clear in category 3, Carmona, Botero, Carolus, Barragan, Tandingen looking like she has made the juncture to this group as well. So great to see that effort there in terms of pushing on. Now, a big gap back to the chase group behind, so some real work done here. So 4 minutes now back to the group behind, which is a phenomenal effort from this group of 7 riders. We've got the yellow jersey, we've got the green jersey, we've got the polka dot jersey, all in this group, which is phenomenal to see. So taking a look at the group here, this is the leading group in the category 3 race. They are coming up for 6 kilometers to go. They have 1 more sprint to do. It is going to be a great finish. 7 riders in this lead group in category 3. So as this leading group in the category 3 race continue over the bridge, they continue towards the Dubai sprint, the final sprint of this stage. We can take a look back at this category 4 race. Now these will be the first of our race fields to finish today. They will be the first race field to finish stage 7 of the MyWhoosh Championships for 2023. Ella Vink has gone clear. Vink currently leading in the yellow jersey on GC. Vink has had an outstanding race. She took the jersey back off Amy Loxley yesterday in the individual time trial. Loxley and Vink have given us an amazing battle for that yellow jersey. Behind Vink, 500 meters back, we have the chase on Tangley, Smithson, Pelagio, Loxley, Tandingen, all in this group. Al-Mansouri as well. So this has been an outstanding stage race, an outstanding 8 days by this category 4. So Vink comes into the final kilometre of the MyWhoosh Championships. She's got a chase on. About 400 metres behind her is the chase group. 7 riders in this group. Tangley and Loxley, Smiths and Pelagio are in here. Madeira is in here as well. These chase group now sweeping round this right-hand bend, whereas Vink is time trialling her way to the finish. So Vink has 700 meters to go. She has 700 meters until she sees that checkered flag and that banner indicating the end of the MyWhoosh Championships for 2023. She has given us an outstanding ride. Vink has had 3 first places in the first 3 stages. She then had a third, a second. She took the win yesterday in the time trial. She is going to take the win today on stage 7 of the MyWhoosh Championship. She crosses the bridge. She's got 400 meters to go. Vink is pushing on here. She's now got a 55-second gap back to the chasing group. They are not in sight. This is going to be Ella Vink's day. This is going to be Ella Vink's Championships. Ella Vink absolutely doing the business. So Vink with just over 100 meters to go. Take a look at that. That is a welcome sight for Ella Vink. She has dominated category 4. She's given us fantastic racing and competition with her teammate Loxley. Ella Vink is your winner today on the final stage of the MyWhoosh Championship, stage 7 in Arabia. It is day 8 and Vink takes the win in category 4. Now the sprint is on behind because this group of women in this category 4 race have got 300 meters to go. The push is on. Poulton is coming. Smithson has kicked. Madeira is coming too. Pelagio and Loxley are winding it up. Al-Mansouri is covering the back. She kicks into the red right now as Smithson leads this out at 9 watts per kilo. Smithson wants second place. Madeira is pushing her strongly. So is Pelagio. The finish line comes into place and Liz Smithson kicks hard. Smithson pushes through. She comes second over the line today. So Smithson in two. The rest of the group coming through: Madeira, Poulton, Tangley and Loxley, Almansori. Giraldo is the next rider in the category. She is still out on the course, but wow, what a finish to this stage 7 today. So, big breath. Stage 7 of the MyWhoosh Championships. This is category 4 overall stage today. So Elevink taking the win in 1 hour 40 minutes and 56 seconds. The group coming in behind, 46 seconds down, led by Smithson with that huge kick to ensure she came over in second place. Madeira takes third, Pelagio fourth, Poulton coming through in fifth, Tanglian in sixth, Almansori finishing in 7th place, and then Loxley rounding out the top 8. So category 4 are through the finish line. Category 3 will be our next category coming through, and this is them at 46.5 kilometers. So just through sprint number 5, they've got 3.6 kilometers now until they see that finish line. So this is category 3. They have just come through the 5th and final sprint of the day. It's Agudelo who picks up the points. So Agudelo picks up the points there from Corollas, from Barragan, from Botero and Carmona. Now, the sprint competition is going to be tight here. We have seen real competition in category 3. It has been tight, it has been furious, and there is still only 23 seconds separating first and second going into today's stage. So in first place, Walkenhurst took first place off Carmona in the individual time trial yesterday. Carmona had been leading beforehand. She's been relegated to second place, 23 seconds back. But this group now pushing on, less than 300 meters to go. Tanningen just dropped off the back here. So Tanningen just dropped from the group. So we now have 6 riders in this leading group in this category 3 race to contend this finish. So Walkenhurst, Carmona, Agudelo, Botero, Barragan and Tanningen now out back. So Carmona, Botero, Corollas, Barragan, Walkenhurst, these riders in here. Agudelo is here as well. These riders now pushing on and into the latter stages of this race. Terry Tanningen is the rider who has dropped off the back as these riders push on and come through. So we have 2.4 kilometers to go for the category 3 race. 6 women in the lead. The category 2 race, we still have a huge group here. They are coming up for the 43 kilometer mark, 3 kilometers before that final sprint of the day. So this race hotting up for category 2 as well as category 1. It is an absolute, look at the size of that group. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. I count more than 10 riders in that group at the moment. So that is going to be a phenomenal finish for this category 2 race. Who is going to take the stage win out of that group of leading category 2 riders? So it's looking like we are seeing a sprint lining up in this category 2 race for the finish of this final stage on the MyWhoosh Championships as we drop back into our category 1 race. And this is Fua and Bauer. Fua, Bauer and Marin, all 3 riders literally looking like they're riding on top of each other because they are all together riding so closely here and so well matched today. So Bauer, Fua and Marin leading the category 1 race. Donny and Biarhead are 55 seconds back, and that is looking like the chase group. So this category 1 race hotting up as well. Still 14 kilometers to go in that category 1 race. There is not 14 kilometers to go in the category 3 race. Tandingen off the back of the leading group. In fact, you can see the leading group on the top right-hand corner of your screen. You can see them on the right-hand side now. So Tandingen is the rider who has been distanced. It was a group of 7. It's now a group of 6. They are coming up for 1.3 kilometres to go. So Barragan, Carmona, Carolus, Agudelo, Botero, Walkenhurst, all in this group. This is the group of leaders in this Category 3 race, shortly to come up to 1 kilometre to go. So of the 6 riders leading this Category 3 race, we have all the jerseys represented in here. We have the Masters jersey, the yellow jersey, the polka dot jersey. They are all in here. Now, the only thing we can say now with 800 meters to go is that this is going to be a sprint for the line in Category 3. Now I'm wondering who is going to go. Is anyone going to go early and go for a long sprint effort, or are they going to all leave this? Tandingen is the rider just off the back. She's 100 meters back off this group, so she's not going to contest the sprint with them. So Carolus, Agudelo, Carmona, Botero, Walkenhurst all lining up for the sprint now. They're coming across the bridge. It's this bridge that is going to take them to the finish. So coming over the wooden bridge, they're coming over the marina. It is a beautiful part of the world to sprint for the finish line, and shortly they are going to see that finish line. They've got 450 meters to go as Walkenhurst kicks early. She's going out for a long one. Walkenhurst, the current yellow jersey wearer, is kicking hard. She's gone at 10 watts per kilo. Barragan is in too. Barragan's at 7 watts per kilo. Now comes Carmona. Carmona is kicking 9 watts per kilo from Carmona. Botero is riding as well, but Walkenhurst looks as though she's going to take this. So Walkenhurst pushing on. Carolus, Barragan all chasing. Can Walkenhurst make it over the line? I think she can. So Julia Walkenhurst is going to take the sprint. She's going to take the final stage, and she's going to take the overall on GC. So Walkenhurst comes over the line in first place in this Category 3 competition. She is your winner today on the stage. Obviously, the results are live at the moment. They will become unofficial. Then the verification process will take place and the results will be final as we watch Terry Tandingen come over the line. Yeah, let's have a celebration, Tandingen. Fantastic effort over the last 8 days. She may have come across in 7th place, but she has been instrumental in the racing and making it happen. So these are the results. These are stage 7 results for Category 3 on the MyWhoosh Championships today. This is the final day. This is day 8, stage number 7. So Julia Walkenhurst from the Maniacs taking the win in 1 hour 33 minutes. 1.9 seconds back is Agudelo in 2, Carolus in 3, Botero in 4, Barragan in 5, Carmona in 6. It was a 6-rider sprint in the final 500 meters that Walkenhurst won, but Terry Tandingen just missing out on staying with that group to the final, coming in 25 seconds back in 7th place. So you can see there, head over to mywhoosh.com/results for all of the verified results once the race has finished today, and that's where you will find out the information. So we've had a lone breakaway win in Category 4. We've had a 6-up sprint in Category 3. This is Category 2. And this is looking to me like we've still got a large group at the front. So coming up for 46 kilometres, they are just going to come into shortly the final sprint number 5. They're going to see that banner in one moment. In fact, there it is just around the corner. Now, this is a big group. Just taking a little look. as they move into the sprint, and it's looking like it's Lopez who's going to contend this. Hermassen is going as well. So this is category 2. This is the final sprint of the day, and this is the Dubai sprint, which was our first sprint. It's also our second sprint. We have lapped around here. Hermassen and Lopez, Daniel is in here as well, all going for this sprint as Hermassen continues to push on. Engstrom is pushing late there as well. So that was the final sprint of the day, sprint number 5 at 46.1 kilometers. They've got 3.6k to go. So the results of the final sprint of the day give 5 points to Lopez, 4 to Engstrom, 3 to Shepherd. Hermassen takes 2, and Miller rounding out the top 5 there, just picking up that final point. Now, that has been an interesting competition between Lopez and Hermassen. Engstrom has taken some of those sprints as well. So it has been a really interesting competition in our category 2 race today for the stage sprint victory. So the stage sprint victory may be contested today. Lopez, I'm thinking, has cemented that green jersey in the overall competition. It's been a fantastic category 2 race. Now we've got a large group of women here running into the finish. At last count, there were 10 riders in here, and it's looking like we've got a bit of a kick off the front going in that category 2 race. Someone is going long. They saw Vink break away after the final sprint, and they are attempting the same tactic here. As we see, it is Koivunen who is putting in the attack here. She put in the attack early to make the breakaway. So Koivunen is the rider. She's second on GC at the moment, but she wants this stage win today. So her teammate Samara Shepherd is in the yellow jersey. Koivunen in 2 minutes back. She's after the stage win today. So Miller, Para, Lopez, Shepherd, Gonzalez, Rua, all in the chase group behind. Now, can Koivunen break this group? Can she go clear? Will the group let her go clear? But at the moment, Shepherd is at the front of the group now. Lopez and Bardskaya, Para is in there as well. This group not chasing hard at the moment. So Koivunen riding at 6 watts per kilo. Para, Hermassen around 3.7, but fluctuating a lot in this group. So I think this group is looking like they're going to let Koivunen go. So there's 2.1k to go in this race for the chase group. There is 1.9 kilometers to go for our leading rider. Koivunen has attacked following the final sprint, and she's got a gap. It's not a big gap, but it's a big enough gap at the moment to see her riding away solo towards the finish. So Shepherd, Hermassen, Daniel, Para, all in the chase group with Engstrom now picking up the pace a little. Koivunen has got 8 seconds on the group, but the group now responding. Do they have enough road? Koivunen's got 1.6 kilometers to go, 1.6k to go for the leader in this category 2 race. So Koivunen pushed on after that final sprint. You can see her on the right-hand side of your screen. On the left-hand side of your screen, you can see the chase group. So the chase group there, still a large group of riders. It's looking like we've got around 10 riders in this chase group, but Gonzalez Rua is in, Hermassen, Zimmerman, Daniel, Shepherd, Para. Engstrom is in here as well. Now, these riders moving strongly. These riders pushing on, but it is the rider who is second on GC overall who has gone clear. She has pushed on and gone clear. She's 150 meters down the road now, so Koivunen pushing on. She's coming up to the 1k to go mark. Can she stay clear? Is anybody going to chase? I think she is going to do this. So Koivunen is riding away clear. She is riding away from the group in this category 2 race. They came into the final sprint together, and she kicked after the sprint, and she has gone clear. It's not much, it's around 10 seconds at the moment, but nobody from the group is looking to challenge Koivunen for this stage victory today. So Koivunen second on GC, looking like she's going to take the final stage win in the MyWhoosh Championships. This is stage number 7 on day 8. So So Koivunen hits the last 500 meters. She's on the wooden bridge. She's crossing the marina. She is going to see not just the back of the category 3 race field as she swings around that corner. She is going to see the finish banner. So Koivunen now 18 seconds clear of the chase group of Miller, Parra, Hermansen, Giraldo, Shepherd. They are all in that group, but it's Koivunen we are watching because Koivunen is leading this category 2 race. She is pushing all the way to the line. She is going to be your winner today. She's got 180 meters to go. She's going to come up and past the rear end of the category 3 race field. She's going to get a race from Jose Zabala. She's getting pushed on here and they are cheering and moving her through as Koivunen comes through. She is your winner in the category 2 race today. So Minna Koivunen wins the category 2 race today. This is the chase. This is the sprint for second, third and fourth. And Angie Parra's gone over the top of Bardaskaya. Bardaskaya pushes on. Hermansen is there as well. I think maybe Hermansen took that from Bardaskaya, but that was really close. It's going to be an interesting finish there. But, oh, that was so close, that sprint. So it was indeed really close to sprint for second, but it is indeed Minna Koivunen from Blue Forest Racing who takes the stage win today in 1 hour and 27 minutes. So Lopez comes through. She wins the sprint, 16 seconds down. Hermansen missing out by fractions of a second. Angie Parra taking fourth, Bardaskaya taking fifth, Gonzalez Rua taking sixth, Engstrom taking seventh, Zimmerman in eighth, Shepherd in ninth, Montoya in 10th, and Kimberly Miller from the Beast Mode powered by Rose Squad finishing in 11th today. So our category 2 race giving us a run for the line in second, third, fourth and fifth, but Koivunen going clear for the win. Just our category 1 race to bring in. So our category 1 race, 43 kilometers. So they have 7k still to go, and they have one sprint left between them and the finish line. That is sprint number 5. It's going to be the second time we've gone through the Dubai sprint because this is a lap and we just overlap the start here. So this is the second time through the Dubai sprint. The riders will have seen this before. At the front of this race we have 3 riders, very, very tightly matched at the moment, almost looking like they are moving as one. So Fua, Bauer and Marin are the 3 riders clear at the moment in this category 1 race. They are riding here and pushing on a steady pace for them. Biarhead and Donny are the riders behind, and do you know they are not that far behind, so 14 seconds just fluctuating there, but 14 seconds back to Biarhead and Donny, who are the chasers here today. So you can see that is 150 meters separating the leading 3 from the chasing 2, and a phenomenal job being done here to keep that gap and to keep that time gap not too far out. But Fua, Brogan and Marin here doing an outstanding job as they roll towards the 44 kilometer mark. They're coming through the marina, they're coming over the bridge. Bauer, Marin and Fua, the 3 riders who are clear in this category 1 race today. So if you have been enjoying all the action from the women's race today with me, don't forget the Sunday Race Club is taking place at this weekend. We are qualifier number 1 in May on Sunday. It is a perfect time to register and join the Sunday Race Club if you have not raced before. There are 4 categories, so as you have seen on the MyWhoosh Championships, all 4 categories take place in the MyWhoosh Sunday Race Club. We have something for everybody now. The Sunday Race Club, you will have qualifiers going through the month with an individual prize pot each week. Competitors need 2 verified results to qualify for the finals, where the team competition also comes into play. So all to play for, and the prize money the same, equal again in the men's and the women's on the Sunday Race Club, like it has been on the MyWhoosh Championship. So If you are interested in joining us on the start line on Sunday, head over to the MyWhoosh website, take a look at the events page, click on the Sunday Race Club and register. You will also find the rule set and the technical guide there. As long as you are able to pick those up, digest them and process it before the entries close, you can get on the start line too. Now, if you're not up for racing but you want to watch, the Sunday Race Club is broadcast as the MyWhoosh Championships have been on the MyWhoosh YouTube channel, so head over and subscribe and you can continue to follow the racing. But if you have enjoyed the racing on the championships and you want to ride against the competitors in category 1, 2, 3 and 4, get registered and we will see you on the start line on Sunday. So this is the MyWhoosh Championships 2023. We are day 8, stage 7, and this is the finale of the women's race. Category 4, category 3 and category 2 are now over the line. This is category 1 in the women's race. The men's race is now live and you can head over once you have finished with the women's race to watch the men's race, which is currently already underway. Matt Payne was with us earlier on. He has left this studio and moved over to start the men's race. I will be joining him shortly after the end of the women's race to watch the men finish the MyWhoosh Championships. But here today now we have got category 1 and there is less than 5 kilometers to go. So with less than 5k to go now on stage 7 of the MyWhoosh Championships, we are in Arabia and we have a breakaway group of 3, a chase group of 2. So Marin, Fua and Bauer are our leading group on the road. 15 seconds back to BR Head and Donny. We then have Geraldo Areas, then we have Tijeros. They are spread now through this race field, but it is the 3 riders in the lead we will see come through the sprint first at 46.1 kilometers. I don't think they are going to contend that sprint. I think this is the sprint for the finish line, unless we see an early kick and a ride away and a long attack, and we see Bauer push on. So Bauer pushing on, Fua covering the move, Marin coming through to back onto the wheel. So these 3 riders continuing to fight it out now as they come into and under the start of the sprint banner. This is sprint number 5. So as Bauer pushes on the front of this group, Fua comes in and takes up the mantle, but Bauer pushes on at 5 watts per kilo. I think she's just trying to pick up her pace here through this sprint. This is the last sprint of this race today. 5 sprints today, sorting out the sprint competition, but also the sprint competition in the stage. We've had a number of riders to the fore today. So from Montoya taking sprint number 1, she took sprint number 2 as well. She also took sprint number 3. Marin took sprint. Actually, Bauer took sprint number 4. This is sprint number 5. And at the moment, I say at the moment because the race field is behind, at the moment it is Marin taking sprint number 5 from Bauer, from Fua, from BR Head and from Donny. But of course we have the rest of the race field further down the road. So with the final sprint now complete, our category 1 women have 3.6 kilometers to go until the finish line today. They will come across the wooden bridge, across the marina. They will see that finish line as they sweep around that left-hand bend. But at the moment it is Bauer, Marin and Fua, 3 riders clear of the chasing group. The chasing group containing Donny and BR Head. You can see them on the right hand corner of your screen, and just taking a look at how far back they are, it's looking like 130 meters is separating these 2 groups. So 130 meters separating the 2 chasers from the lead group. It's around 12 seconds now, so they are actually bringing it down slowly. So BR Head and Donny chasing the group in front, slightly faster than the group is moving. The leading 3 need to not look at each other, or else they are going to become a leading group of 5. As you can just see on the top right hand corner of your screen, the leading group going into the roundabout now, and BR Head and Donny coming round now will actually have them in their sights. Now, when you actually get to the point where you can see the riders, it's added motivation to catch. So Donny and Biarhead here pushing on. They are closing on the group in front. Gemma Brogan is the next rider on the road. Brogan is a minute down on Biarhead and Donny. So Brogan currently 6th on the road today. Overall lying in 2nd position. She's 11 minutes behind Bauer and 7 minutes clear of 3rd place. Now 3rd place is indeed Catherine Fuhr on GC coming into today's stage. So whilst she's lost about a minute and a half to that group, it's not going to make any difference to GC. Now, whilst we're talking about GC, there's 2K to go, and now is the time that Bauer has decided to kick. Fuhr is not letting her go, neither is Marin, because these 3 riders absolutely all want the stage win today. Biarhead and Donny now 14 seconds behind, so Bauer, Fuhr and Marin now competing for this 1, 2, 3. I don't think Donny and Biarhead are going to close the gap, so Bauer is kicking. Fuhr now going at 6.7 watts per kilo. Marin's not wanting to be left behind. She closes the gap quickly as Bauer and Marin snowball onto the back of Fuhr. So these 3 riders neck and neck at the moment, absolutely giving it their all. They've got 1.5 kilometers to go, and it is eyeballs out from these 3 at the moment. They all 3 want the stage win today. So on GC, Bauer is in 1, Fuhr is in 3. Marin is not in the top 10 on GC. This is about a stage win for Marin. She's had 1 second and 3/3 over the 7 stages. Well, over the 6 previous stages. This is stage 7. Can she take a first? Bauer has 4 wins, 1 second, 1 fourth. Fuhr has 1 second, 2 fourths, a 5th, an 8th and a 10th, and they are all lining up, these 3 riders, for this final kilometre now. So Biarhead and Donny continue to ride as the chase group. They continue to chase. Bauer has kicked again. Marin is covering her. Marin is coming, but Fuhr is getting dropped here. Can Fuhr stay on? Can Fuhr push? Come on, let's go. Let's keep this 3 together. So Fuhr pushes here. She's trying to close the gap down to Bauer and Marin. Bauer has gone long. Can Fuhr keep this up? Can she keep this going? There's 700 meters to go as Bauer has pushed. Marin is on her wheels. Fuhr is trying to close the gap. They transition onto the wooden bridge. This is the last 500 meters of this Category 1 race. So Bauer and Marin go in side by side to the final 500 meters. Fuhr is down. She's 2 seconds back, but she's pushing on. She's closing the gap. Can she utilize the draft from these riders to snowball over the top? Can she use this as her run into the finish? Bauer is kicking, Fuhr is coming, Marin is staying close. They're going to sweep round the corner. They're going to see the finish banner. Marin kicks at 11 watts per kilo. Daniela Marin has decided she really wants this stage win today. Jojo Bauer is coming. Bauer coming up and over. Fuhr is there. Bauer and Marin are kicking. Marin goes again. Bauer is pushing. Whoa, I think Jojo Bauer has just taken that by half a wheel from Daniela Marin, but we are going to see those results come up onto our screen in a moment. So whilst we await the results between Bauer and Marin, Fuhr comes over the line in 3rd. Biarhead and Donny not yet through the finish line. They are going to come around the corner and they are going to see that finish banner very, very shortly. They have less than 200 meters to go. So Donny and Biarhead, teammates in this competition, coming through on the final stage. Biarhead and Donny side by side, cheering each other on, coming through as teammates together to finish the MyWhoosh Championships for 2023. So the overall results for stage 7 in category 1 in this women's race. It was a fast and furious sprint for the line, and Jojo Bauer and Daniela Marin alternated positions as they were on the run in. But today, in 1 hour 24 minutes and 44 seconds, the win in category 1 goes to Jojo Bauer on the final stage of the MyWhoosh Championships. Daniela Marin 0.1 of a second behind to take second place. Risky Biscuits then have Fua in 3, 6 seconds back. Donny and then Head coming in 42 seconds down on that leading group of 3. So our first 5 riders are over the line in that Category 1 race. It is all to play for back out on the course with the next group of riders coming through, and it's looking like that is going to be Geraldo Areas with 1 kilometre to go, and Tejeros a little bit further back down the course. So Jojo Bauer taking the win in that stage number 7. Rounding out, that will make 5 stage wins for Bauer. Her dominance in that women's race has been absolutely exceptional throughout the MyWhoosh Championships, but we have seen some fantastic competition and some great racing and riding right the way across that Category 1 race field. Not just Bauer, but the Risky Biscuits team of Head, Donny, Fua, Ares have absolutely given us some great racing and great tactics to secure that team competition and make that move through GC. In fact, that individual time trial was so essential to the overall top 10. That was yesterday. This is today, and this is stage 7, the final stage of the MyWhoosh Championships, Category 1, now coming in. So we've seen Bauer take the win in Category 1. We saw Constantin take the win in Category 2. We saw Walkenhurst take the win in Category 3, and we saw Vink come over the line for the win in Category 1 today. So rounding out an amazing championships, these women have given us some phenomenal racing as we watch Geraldo Areas come in for that Risky Biscuit squad under the line on stage 7, day 8 of the MyWhoosh Championships for 2023. So the MyWhoosh Championships for 2023, that was stage 7, that was our final stage. So today was 50 kilometres of racing with 340 metres of elevation, but there has been a total of 330 kilometres of racing over the last 8 days for the women on the MyWhoosh Championships. We have seen some phenomenal riding, we have seen great tactics, and we have seen great teamwork at play across all 4 of our categories. Now, I have some thank yous to finish before we leave you. So first of all, thank you to the team behind the scenes, the race organisation. They have been bringing you all of the pictures. They have designed the course, and it has been a phenomenal championships. You, our spectators and viewers, for watching. Feel free to share. Feel free to bring a friend next time. Head over to the YouTube channel. Head over to the MyWhoosh YouTube channel and share and watch the racing. You can join us for the Sunday Race Club there on Sunday as well. I'd like to thank Matt Payne for joining me in the commentary box. It's been great having him join us for the start of the women's race before he heads over to the men's. Last but not least, we need to thank the riders because the riders have given us all of the action over the last 8 days to commentate on. So don't forget to join us for the Sunday Race Club. It's qualifier race number 1 on Monday. It has been an absolute pleasure putting words to the action. So from me, Emma Martin, from all the team at MyWhoosh, stay safe, enjoy your riding. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.